go. As we start to get ready to practice our meditation today, I invite you to sit back in a seated position. I invite you to feel very supported in that seated position. Maybe you're in a chair, and if you are, scoot yourself back so that your low back, your middle back, your back end are all supported. If you're sitting on the floor, try to find something to support your back. If not, brace your belly to hold your trunk up strong and tall. If you need to lie down, I think that's fine too. Please find a place that feels comfortable and that feels safe wherever you're seated. And right now I invite you just to relax your shoulders, whatever that means to you and that feels right to you. I invite you to relax your upper back and maybe even your neck a little bit. If you need to move around to get yourself set up for this, please do. And then we'll get started. In your seated position, I want you to take a nice deep breath in and a rich exhale out. This is all at your own pace. This is at your own speed. And a nice rich inhale in and out. What I'd like to do as you're inhaling and exhaling at your own pace, I'd like you to think about being curious. That's what we'll do today. We'll be curious about our breath. And in particular, as you breathe in, let's get curious about that inhalation. Relaxing the shoulders, feeling support in your low back and your lower back. Big breath in. And as you inhale, are you doing so through your nose or maybe through your mouth? What does that inhale feel like? What's the temperature of the air as you inhale in? And exhale at your own pace. With your next inhalation, I invite you to breathe just a little bit deeper, a little bit further down into your lungs, creating a more rich feeling in your torso. And exhale. And with your next inhale, I invite you to go even further. Let further down in those lungs, as low as you can go, become rich and full and expansive. Breathing in and breathing out. And as you take a couple more very rich, very full, deep inhalations, I want you to acknowledge if thoughts are coming, because I'll bet they are, or maybe noise is happening. And if it is, it's good to just acknowledge it's there and then usher it along its way. It's kind of the thanks for coming thought, and I'll deal with that later. And your big inhalation in. How does it feel to fill those lungs a bit further down, deeper into your torso, as you feel that air coming into your body, whatever temperature it is, and however it's getting there, filling your lungs as far and as deep as you can take it. Big, rich, deep, generous inhalations. Now being curious about how it feels on the outside to breathe so deeply in, taking one hand, putting it on your heart, the other hand, putting it on your belly, and continuing to breathe in deeply and richly. What does it feel like from the outside to take a deep breath, filling your lungs as far as you can, pulling air into your body from the outside in, letting your belly expand, letting your lungs fill? What does that feel like? And with your hand on your heart and your belly, and while you're inhaling richly, what if you make a point to relax your shoulders? What if you make a point to relax your jaw? Maybe your forehead, maybe your eyes, your eyelids, your eyeballs, anything around your face that might need to relax. Give it a go. Let that relax as you richly and deeply inhale. Acknowledging that as you inhale and as you exhale, thoughts are coming, thoughts are going. You're breathing at your own pace, and you're ushering along those extra thoughts that come in. The thought about what you have to do next, the thought about what's next days and weeks down the road. Thank those thoughts for coming. They'll serve a purpose somewhere, but just not right now. Big breath in, generous inhale and exhale. I have a friend who labels her thoughts. Something very non-judgmental, a little lighthearted. She calls it thinking, thinking, thinking. Her name is Diane Fine. She teaches yoga. And when she has thoughts come in, she says, well, there it is, thinking, thinking, thinking. And then she ushers it along its way. If you'd like to label your thoughts so that you can easily acknowledge they're there, do so, but non-judgmentally. No negative labels. Nice rich inhale in, filling the lungs as far as you can go. And with your next inhale, I want you to pull the air in a little bit farther, just a little bit deeper. And we're going to focus on the exhale, bringing your hands to your lap or to your legs. I want you to become curious about that exhalation. Inhale richly and deeply. And once you're there, hold for just a minute before you exhale. And what does that feel like as you exhale gently the air from your body? Does it leave your body through your mouth? Does it leave your body through your nose? Inhaling richly and deeply and exhaling. Now I'd like you to try to exhale just a little more slowly than you inhale. Purposely slowly. So on your next inhale, maybe you count to a count of 3. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. And as you exhale, it's a count of 5. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000. Inhale, slowly, intentionally exhale, slowly and gently. The timing doesn't make any difference. It can be whatever timing works best for you. But you're trying to slow down that exhale. Slowing down that exhale reduces your heart rate. It might decrease your blood pressure just a little bit. These are all good things right now. Rich inhale. And as you exhale, what does it feel like to slow the breath down even further? Even make a sound as you exhale. Maybe it's a big sound for you. Maybe it's a gentle sound, just enough that only you can hear it. And on the next breath, as you exhale, what if you pushed it out a little more forcefully? Still slowly, but maybe a little forcefully. And as you relax your face, as you relax your jaw one more time on the inhale and the exhale, I want you to relax those shoulders. Bring them down. Press your shoulder blades down and setting them into your torso. And now bringing again one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Focusing on the exhale. What does it feel like? What does your belly do as you inhale richly and deeply and then slowly exhale? How does it feel to have your hand on your heart as you focus on the breath? Remembering, ushering those thoughts out non-judgmentally, just letting them move along their way. And now we're going to take just a very brief trip. If you feel comfortable, please close your eyes. If you feel safe, if you don't want to or don't feel safe closing your eyes, have your gaze low or even on the screen in front of you, because we're about to walk toward a creek. So I want you to think about maybe a creek that you know or a creek you wish you knew, something that's very gentle, a very slow but intentional body of water that's flowing. It might be something that you see with regularity. The creek might be something that only lives in your mind's eye, and it doesn't matter, it's your creek. But you're walking toward it. You see it in the distance as you're breathing in and breathing out. You see green around the creek. trees and leaves, things that are coming to life in the spring. And you can hear the creek in the distance, but it's gentle. As you walk closer, you start to notice details about this creek. You start to notice maybe some rocks that the water is running over. Maybe you start to notice other things in and around the creek. Maybe some moss on the rocks, maybe moss along the shoreline. As you continue to walk closer, you hear what your creek sounds like as you're breathing in and breathing out. And it's a comfortable day. Your temperature feels good. The air feels nice. Maybe you can smell the creek. Maybe you can smell the water. And as you get closer to the creek, you notice there's a place to sit down. You take a big breath in and you find that place to sit down, whatever that looks like for you. But it's warm underneath you. The sun has already hit it today, so it's warm. And as you breathe in, keeping your hand on your heart and one hand on your belly, you sit and watch the creek. And as you look to the left up the creek where the water's coming from, you can see how it looks as it heads toward you. And you notice a leaf, just one leaf, floating on top of the water. It's a new spring leaf, and who knows how it got there, but it's on the water and it's floating very gently toward where you are. And then it's in front of you. And it doesn't stay, but instead, as the creek moves it along, it too moves along to the right. You can watch it come from the left and move to the right very gently as the current, as the water moves it along in a very gentle way. And as you look to the left again, you notice another leaf, and it occurs to you that this is not unlike the thoughts that you have as you're mindful and as you meditate. Sometimes you know they're coming. They come down the creek gently. It sits in front of you for a moment, and as we practice today, we're going to let it move on as the current of the creek takes it further down. You can imagine that sometimes those leaves stay right in front of us. They swirl around, those ideas, those thoughts, those leaves get stuck right in front of us. They swirl and they simmer. And no matter how hard that creek tries to move it, it gets kind of stuck. But when it finds just the right spot to move on, when we find that moment of awareness, non-judgmentally, we move that thought, that idea, that list of things we have to do or are scared of, and we move it down the creek. Because right now, all we need to do is breathe. Nice big inhalation and a slow, intentional exhalation. Being curious, coming back to the breath. If your leaves or your ideas start to simmer in front of you, the way you restart is to focus on your breath. It's all about restarting, clearing those leaves, those thoughts, non-judgmentally from where we are right now. Big breath in and exhale intentionally and slowly. Focusing on the breath, I want you to consider what and where you've been lately. As you think about leaves coming down a creek as they're floating down, do they come one at a time? Do you notice you have multiple leaves that kind of stick together? Do you notice that sometimes the creek doesn't look like a creek, it looks like just a tub full of leaves? I'm sure we've all had those moments lately. Maybe it's, if you have a lot of leaves in front of you right now, maybe you can acknowledge each one, what it really represents, what that thought is about, what the focus is of that concern that you have, and usher it away gently and intentionally so that right now you have a clear stream in front of you. Big breath in, relaxing the jaw, relaxing the face, relaxing the shoulders and the upper back, and exhale. Remember, the inhale is intentional and rich, and the exhale is slow and intentional and rich. They're just very different from each other. As you inhale and as you exhale, you look up for a moment and notice that the clouds are parting. And you see a ray of sunshine in front of you. It's not to you yet, but you can see it hitting the creek. You can see it hitting the green of what's around the creek. And you know it's coming toward you. And in this moment, you know it will make you warm, and it does. That ray of light hits you suddenly, and as you take a big inhalation, you feel the sun on your face. You feel the warmth on your body. The exhale is intentional, and it keeps the warmth right where you are, but it still moves any of those thoughts or leaves. It moves them down the creek gently. But in this moment, right now, you feel warm. You feel supported. You feel safe in this moment with that one ray of light shining on your face and on your body, keeping you warm, keeping you present to the right here and the right now. Big breath in and big breath out, exhaling slowly, intentionally, and gently. And now it's your choice to stand up from this nice, warm place, knowing that this is your creek, this is your ray of sunshine that you can come back to at any time today and at any time in the next couple days. It's yours and yours alone. But you're deciding now as you take a big inhalation to get up and to slowly walk away from this place, inhaling deeply and richly, and exhaling with intention and with thoughtfulness and generosity. Nice big inhale in and exhale out. I invite you to bring your hands into your lap or into whatever position feels best for you. And I invite you to remember your creek and remember the sun, but most importantly, remember the breath. You can come back to this whenever you want. I thank you for your time with that meditation today. And I invite you to come back every Thursday at 9 a.m. Now I have just